Hi, good afternoon, YouTube subscribers. This is Harper, again, Community First, again, rendering voice. I have to let you know, first and foremost, how many of you out there that are ADOS people? We're going to talk about ADOS, and we're going to talk a little bit about a few other things. But ADOS people, how many of you realize that Yvette Carnell, my precious sister, who is doing the advocacy and a thought leader and co-founder of American DOS. Also, I'm going to announce again that she also holds a PhD from Howard University in political science, and she's the founder and writer of Breaking Brown. She's also a writer about political science, and she served on Capitol Hill. Okay, first we'll talk about Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. Antonio Moore holds a law degree from UCLA in California. Okay, so he's also a co-founder and a thought leader, and he's a leader in terms of ADOS, American DOS, American Descendants of Slavery. And this is an agenda that we have all snowball into in terms of our intellectual presence as it pertains to us and what we are valued of and what we have not been rightfully given in terms of our reparations. And not only our reparations, but in terms of our protected class citizenship. And it's an agenda that's around the round table, up for discussion and up for us pressing on. And I know that it's very valid, and we should know now. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know that, the reason why politicians are discussing reparations is because of American DOS. It's because of ADOS. Dr. Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore had brainstormed to, they come in contact with a due diligence with this acronym, which is very powerful, and we have been centered around it with all our concerns in an agenda. And if you don't know where the agenda is, it's at 101ados.com. Now, I don't know if anybody else having any problems, but when I went to look at it on certain devices, it seemed like the website wants to block it. And look for that to be normal. It shouldn't be, but look for it to be normal because what they're doing is very serious to them, and what they're doing is serious to us also. They're trying to kind of put stumbling blocks in the way of this because it's very important. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't know what ADOS is as I go and do the advocacy on the ground. A lot of people don't even know, but they do know what reparations is. They have heard about reparations in our politicians on mainstream media lately. The reason, and they don't even know why they're hearing reparations. They have, but they don't know what ADOS is. And the reason why is because the mainstream media have not given recognition to the acronym and to the people that have introduced this and to the thought leaders, Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. And the reason why they have not done that is so that we don't understand the strategy of where it actually comes from and where the fight comes from. And it will cause a trickle-down effect. And all of us who have been misguided in terms of black folks in America can get on board at a place, and that place is ADOS. So that's why a lot of people don't know about ADOS, because mainstream media is taking up regurgitating our talking points. They got a lot of pressure put on them in January when we denounced Kamala Harris and so forth, and Bernie Sanders, because they were against what is valuable to us and what is owed to us as the children of America and the children of slave descendants, which we suffered the debris and have been, and these are facts. The debris was Jim Crow, the redlining, the burning of assassination of black leaders, and the bombing of beautiful black thriving communities. Redlining constantly goes on, institutionalized racism, the war on drugs, crack cocaine being interjected in our community under conspiracy, open to all kind of conspiracy. Whereas though we did not have what belonged to us. And that means our reparations. So we were not in a comfortability to access throughout economics and reparations and stuff like that. So we were under a place where we can be subjected to somewhere, and that means under conspiracy, where they could practice projects that they could on a people that had nothing in terms of finance or wealth and put you in a place or subject you to a place, and then you become self-destructive. So this is the real science of what we have been dealing with in the 80s, of course, and in the late 70s, after Jim Crow and after all the civil rights that we had to experience as slave descendants, which a lot of people are still alive, including my mother and father, and in this thing. And we as children had to endure all of these rejections through our government policy. And then we had to not, right now we're in a place where we cannot reflect on the prestigious black communities is because they were bombed. Black Wall Street was bombed from the air. Rosewood, and a beautiful, prestigious community in New York now is called Wall Street, where a thriving black community was American DOS, the descendants of slavery. And then yet we suffered all that, and we have not yet obtained what's due to us, and that's our inheritance, where our ancestors was forced to build this nation on due diligence, on giving their blood sacrifice. So as the words of Yvette Cornell says, we are the bones that gave this country, that made this country sprout flesh and muscles. And that's slavery and the children of slaves. So we have, the government has honored the fact, not honored, but have took in account for the fact that slavery was wrong, and they brought laws into fruition and signed off on laws to protect the children of slaves and slaves when slavery was free. But we never obtained those properties. And the properties that we did have, because of Jim Crow and institutionalized racism, a lot of the KKK ran a lot of our people off of their property and their businesses. So we were dealt with in militant force. So we're looking for reparations, and so that we can be up against what now we see is generational wealth, what they have been holding on to and have been collecting off of the backs of slaves, and the denying and the wrongful treatment of black American enslaved descendants in this country. So they're able to facilitate areas and have all kinds of empire due to our negligence, due to our sufferings. And they're holding on to it. And now what they have is generational wealth. And we cannot compete against that as a group, as a class of people, without having what's rightfully owed to us. And I want to say before I leave here, again, the peculiar thing about this is that a lot of people and groups have found this to be very important, that they have their inheritance. The Jews have reparations. The Indians have reparations. The Japanese have reparations. Some people in Black Wall Street, the farmers, they got some, because it's right to give it. But the slaves never got it, or the descendants. So these people, and even the slave traders, got reparations. When slavery was abolished, they got certain monies and stuff from the government because they had nobody to work for free. So this stuff, they've been passing on down to generation, and they, as a community, keep us as bottom feeders, where they create companies and things like that, and manufacture, where we come in and do labor and get paid, a lot of us slave wages, and we're up against a system that we cater to and we're supposed to be a part of as constituency, and we're feeding into it in terms of servitude. And that's because we have not been rightfully honored in terms of our reparations. And this is what I wanted to tell some of people that don't understand. And a lot of people are using talking points to try to delay this message and defy it, in terms of us not understanding exactly where it lays, how to fight, and where it comes from, and how we're anchored in it. So this is something you need to be clear about, because it's a debt owed. We have justice claims inside the agenda, American DOS, ADOS. So I also want to say that I'm giving recognition to a lot of people out there that are promoting the idea of this. And I want everybody to know who have not really jumped on board yet. And that's, mostly Pan-Africanisms. Some immigrants are thinking that we're against them. We're not. And the Hebrew Israelites and stuff. Now, there are people in each group who have understood what's going on, and they have embraced it. But there are also people in each group that have met the talking points by other people that are trying to defy this agenda. And they're using terms and words and saying things about the thought leaders to get you not to be on board. This is a very prestigious agenda. It's priceless also, and very urgent as well, due to all these elements that which I've described in this commentary. So let's just stick together and continue to fight. And I'll come back and I'll give you more, because we need to understand what's going on. Go to ADOS101.com and just let's keep on pressing like on the videos for each other. And I got to explain some more stuff to y'all because my video is blanking right now. I was going to give y'all 20 minutes, but I'll come back and explain some more. This is the first part, and I'll do a second part, okay? All my subscribers, thank you for subscribing. If you have not, please subscribe to my channel. This is Harper with Community First.